morning everyone, welcome to the video. I'm going to take you through a refeed day today, so I get 550 gram of carbs today, which is very nice. I look forward to the Friday, Saturday refeed days and getting a little bit of extra food and crumpets and jam because they're very, very nice. Also going to train upper today, so I'll take you through that session as well. And if you could like and subscribe, that'd be great, and enjoy the video. So we're on to the pre-workout meal now, meal 3. Meal 2 was just a smoothie, I didn't film it. Go back to all my old videos if you want to check out how I make that, it's just the same smoothie. This is my pre-workout, my cream of rice with the cinnamon donut whey and dark chocolate and salt, really, really nice. So I'm going to get this down. The beloved crumpets are in there ready. And I will, I don't do them now because then they go cold by the time I've eaten the rice. The crumpets are in. 4 crumpets, 10 grams of jam on each. It's about 100 gram of carbs, just over 100 gram of carbs. Goes in after the rice, sits really well, helps obviously with performance, gives me a better pump in the gym, especially when carbs have been relatively low over the last sort of, what, 5 days since I was last on the refeed on last Saturday. So I'm doing the refeeds Friday, Saturday, back-to-back days at the minute. So I get this down and then it's time to go and train. Right then, welcome to the voiceover of the session. So this was an upper body session. Obviously at the minute we're training in the garage. Seeing as gyms still aren't open, still not got a definite date, couple of weeks apparently, but we shall see. Not getting my hopes up after it sort of was supposedly going to be the 4th and then things didn't happen. So I'm not going to get my hopes up. We'll see, whenever they open. For now, the garage is doing just fine. So first movement was a crucifix raise, so with the bands. This works really well. So what I've got is there's like 2 in the garage. There's like almost like 2 like heavy like worktop areas with obviously legs, and we've got the bands on the bottom of those legs, and then obviously the bench set up on the highest incline. So mimics what you would do, very similar to a crucifix cable lateral in the gym. And this is actually really tough. We've got the cuffs on with the bands clipped to the cuff. You won't need a cuff if you don't have cuffs. You could always do it just with the band on your wrist. It might be a little bit less comfortable, but you could do that. So yeah, if you've got bands, just got bands, that's a great movement. Then the second movement is a low incline barbell press. So currently, obviously with the fact that I'm getting a little bit leaner now, my pressing has taken a massive hit primarily due to stability and a little bit less fat on sort of around my scapula and around my joints. You know, I unrack the bar and I just feel like it's going through me and that I'm all over the place. Like you can see if you look at that set, it doesn't look like a set of 4. It looks like I should be getting like 6 to 8. They're flying up. Like I've got the strength. I don't feel like I can't move the weight. I just lose stability and I lose that ability to generate the force, even though it doesn't feel heavy, which is very, very frustrating. Like I can tell that I can move the weight. It just, like I say, stability wise, it's just not there. And then I get frustrated and throw a tantrum and throw my wraps around and swear and get pissed off. It's very frustrating. If the first movement doesn't go well, I lose my head and then it ends up leading to a bit of a poor session, which I shouldn't do. That's sort of something that I need to work on. This was the back off set. I've obviously sped it up a little bit. Again, the weight doesn't feel heavy, but stability wise it's causing issues. So the first set was 110 for 4. I've had it for 6 before in the previous weeks, and it's not, you know, it's not really progressing. So I need to reset that, or look at changing it and taking it out potentially. And then the back off set is 95 for 12 plus 1, which numbers wise is okay, but in terms of how it feels, it just doesn't feel great, which is frustrating. Then onto a T-bar row. So as you can see here, I'm using a bar through the chain that's attached to the bar, to the main bar, the Olympic bar, and then we've got some D handles on there just because I feel like I get a better connection with the D handles and it's a lot more comfortable on my joints, on my elbows, my wrists and my shoulders. So if you feel like your joints tend to hurt from like a barbell row or a T-bar row with an overhand grip, then it may be worth looking at putting some D handles on it, because it's a lot sort of smoother and more comfortable on the joints. So potentially worth trying that out. It's a good movement, to be fair. That last few a little bit sloppy, a little bit too upright, but then generally it's a good movement that I enjoy it. So just 2 sets on there. We had a top set of aiming for sort of like between 8 and 12, and then a back off of 12 to 15. Then we went on to the bench dips. So obviously you can see loading this pretty heavy. There's 100 kilos on my lap. Basically at the minute I've got something wrong with my chest. I don't know what it is. It's my rib, this right side, my rib feels like on presses that someone's stood on it and it's going to crack. So literally, like, then again, this, it doesn't feel that heavy. Like, I feel like I've got plenty of reps through my triceps, but my rib feels like it's literally going to snap. I felt then if I did one more rep, my rib would crack, like, ridiculous. Then I sat and felt sorry for myself for about 5 minutes and massaged it as much as I could. I woke up this morning, my shoulder and my rib is just fucked. Like, moving it hurts. It feels like really tight. I can feel a connection between like my rib, my shoulder and my scapula, my right side, like behind and under my shoulder blade. I don't know what it is. I need it getting checked out. I need to be careful with my pressing movements because it's not right. And last thing I want to do is injure myself properly. This is an injury that's manageable. Last thing I want to do is injure myself properly during prep and fuck myself up. So I need to be really, really careful with that. Then we went on to some chin-ups, weighted chin-ups. So to be fair, like, me and Reese agree that with the chin-up we feel like we can't really take our lats to failure, so we give 3-4 reps on both sets. So just 2 sets on this, but with 3-4 reps on both sets, just because it makes sort of the movement feel a little bit more productive, and that you can actually get a lot more out of your lats and not just 3 or 4 rounds, even with the straps on. Then we do a banded fly. So a banded costal fly where the bands are set high, using the cuffs and just pressing down. Actually doesn't feel too bad, the banded fly. You just have to go quite high rep because obviously the band tension, the resistance profile sort of, it gets lighter as you come into that stretch position. So you can just keep going and going and going, but it's good to get a lot of blood in there. Then we supersetted it with a dumbbell shrug. So 2 sets on each of these, high reps on both pretty much, trying to get sort of really high reps on the bands just because you can. And then on the shrugs, 12 to 15 we're aiming for, with like a 3-second eccentric, a 3-second stretch, 3-second squeeze. Then onto a single arm banded raise with the cuff. Felt really good. We just do 1 set on that and go into partials when you fail on the full reps. A seated tricep push down as well, and then a crossbody dumbbell hammer just to finish off. So yeah, to be fair, it was an okay session. It's very frustrating because it would have been a great session if I didn't have this issue with my rib. I don't know, like I said, I don't know exactly what it is. It's potentially something to do with sort of the intercostal muscles between my ribs. I'm thinking, I don't know, but like I say, then it's got the connection to this right shoulder. This right shoulder rolls forward a lot. So yeah, basically I'm just a bit fucked and need sorting out and need to be careful because I don't want to get injured and not be able to train properly during prep. It's the last thing that I need to do. So I just need to be smart and not just be stupid and think, oh, I'll just try and push through it because I'm going to do something serious. Like I say, I felt like if I'd done another rep on that bench dip, that my rib, I don't know what had happened, but it felt like my rib was going to literally crack and impale my lungs, which would not be ideal really, would it? So yeah, that was the session. I will relay some photos as to how I'm looking on the screen as well now. So currently hovering around 183, 184 pounds. Still implementing obviously the refeeds, so Friday, Saturday back-to-back refeeds where I'm hitting 550 carb, 200 protein and 40 fat. So higher carb, a little bit lower protein and a little bit lower fat, so we're really sort of prioritising the carbohydrates as much as we can, just to try and aid performance and try and replenish glycogen stores as much as we can, fill me up, make me feel better, make me look better, make me train better. And they are tending to work, definitely are. I seem to be at the minute pretty much sort of holding when we implement the refeeds and then losing gradually through the week, and then hold on the refeeds, lose gradually through the week, just very, very slightly, almost around a pound a week at the minute, which is not a bad rate to be fair. Still, 11, going into next week it'll be 11, 12 and 15 weeks out, so 15 weeks being the main UK DFBA junior show, and then the 11 and 12 weeks being the UK DFBA novice and the BNBF British Championships, where I'll be a novice in the men's weight, in the men's classes. So yeah, sort of a little bit behind potentially in terms of where we're at in fat loss, a little bit behind, but with the main show being the latest one, we're not too concerned about that. So that concludes the refeed day. Obviously I filmed all the food, I didn't talk through it because I just needed to eat it. So I'll put the totals for the whole day here in front of Shannon. You should have to look at her. Just going on final steps now. It's quite late, it's like, what time is it, 11:15, half 11? Just spent fucking hours building the leg press with Reese. So the session wasn't amazing, but I'll spoke about that in the sort of talking over the session part of the video. So yeah, I'll leave it there. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Please like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.